I learned my first real lesson about dating in Japan without a single word being spoken. It was a quiet evening in Tokyo. Neon lights reflected on wet streets, people walked with purpose, and the city felt alive without being loud. I thought I was doing everything right, smiling, talking, leaning in. And yet, something felt off. That moment taught me something important. Dating in Japan follows a different rhythm. It's not loud, it's not rushed, meaning lives between the lines. Japanese dating culture is shaped by broader social values, harmony, emotional restraint, and respect for boundaries. These values don't disappear in romance. They become even more important. Foreign men often expect attraction to look familiar. Fast replies, obvious flirting, physical closeness. In Japan, attraction often looks like consistency, patience, and consideration. If you're waiting for instant chemistry, you may miss what's actually happening. Mistake number 1, being too direct, too fast. One of the most common mistakes foreign men make is rushing. Asking deeply personal questions early about income, past relationships, or marriage can feel intrusive. These topics are not forbidden, but they come later, once trust is built. Directness without emotional context can feel abrupt rather than confident. Mistake number 2, confusing politeness for attraction. Japanese culture values kindness and social harmony. Smiles, attentiveness, and polite conversation are often expressions of courtesy, not romance. Assuming interest too quickly can lead to awkward misunderstandings. Attraction is usually shown subtly, through effort and consistency rather than bold signals. Silence is not a problem. Silence makes many foreign men uncomfortable. In Japan, silence can be thoughtful, respectful, or simply peaceful. Trying to fill every pause with conversation can come across as nervous or overwhelming. Being comfortable with quiet moments signals emotional maturity. Public behavior matters more than you think. Public displays of affection are generally restrained. Holding hands is common, but excessive touching or loud emotional expression can feel inappropriate. Awareness of surroundings shows respect, not just toward your date, but toward society as a whole. Shortness of young people. Another reality quietly shaping dating in Japan is the shortage of young people, especially young adults of dating and marriage age. Japan has one of the world's most aging populations, with fewer young people entering the workforce and social life each year. This demographic shift affects dating culture in subtle ways. Many young Japanese people feel pressure from work, long hours, and social expectations, which can reduce opportunities for dating and delay marriage. As a result, dating often becomes more cautious and intentional, rather than frequent or casual. For foreign men, this means standing out isn't about being aggressive or flashy. It's about being emotionally considerate, patient, and genuinely present in a society where time, energy, and connection are treated carefully. Confidence versus arrogance. Confidence is appreciated, arrogance is not. Talking excessively about yourself, your achievements, or your country can feel self-centered. Japanese communication often emphasizes listening, humility, and balance in conversation. Group culture and social circles. Relationships in Japan often develop through social environments. Friends, co-workers, shared activities. How you treat others matters. Respect toward her social circle reflects directly on you. Being considerate in group settings builds trust faster than private charm alone. Punctuality is non-negotiable. Being on time in Japan is a baseline expectation. Arriving late without apology or explanation can signal disrespect. Reliability and planning are deeply valued traits. Exclusivity and unspoken expectations. Exclusivity is not always assumed until it's discussed. At the same time, dating multiple people without clarity can feel uncomfortable. Communication matters, but timing and tone matter just as much. Avoid confrontational discussions early on. Emotional expression works differently. Japanese women may not express emotions openly at first. This does not mean they lack depth or interest. Emotions are often shared privately and gradually. Pressuring someone to open up can feel invasive. Pay attention to actions, not words. Consistency is a strong signal of care. Language and cultural effort. Even basic Japanese phrases show respect. Effort matters more than fluency. Using the language humbly signals that you value her culture, rather than expecting her to adapt entirely to yours. Dating apps in Japan. Go slower than you think. Dating apps are common, but interactions often move slowly. Late replies or cautious conversations are not rejection. Pushing for fast meetups or intense messaging can feel unsafe or rushed. Avoid stereotypes about roles. Japanese women are not a single category. Some value traditional gestures, others prefer equality. Many value both depending on context. Assuming expectations based on stereotypes leads to mistakes. Privacy is meaningful. Being invited into her routine, her favorite cafe, neighborhood, or daily life is significant. Privacy is valued highly. Access is given gradually, and being included is a sign of trust. Marriage is viewed pragmatically. Marriage is often approached seriously and thoughtfully. Lifestyle compatibility, emotional stability, and financial responsibility matter. Romance exists, but it is grounded in reality. Conflict and disagreement. Public arguments are generally avoided. Disagreements are handled indirectly, with care for emotional harmony. Immediate confrontation can feel overwhelming. Sometimes space comes before resolution. Gift giving. Less is more. Extravagant gifts early on can feel uncomfortable. Thoughtful, modest gestures are appreciated more than expensive ones. Intention matters more than price. Being foreign is not an advantage by itself. Curiosity about other cultures exists, but foreignness does not replace character. Respect, patience, and emotional awareness matter far more than novelty. The biggest mistake? Impatience. Japanese dating culture unfolds slowly. Trying to force emotional or physical progress can end something that might have grown naturally. What actually works? Men who succeed in dating in Japan tend to observe before acting, listen more than they speak, adapt without losing themselves, respect differences rather than fighting them. Dating in Japan isn't about changing who you are. It's about adjusting how you express it. A quiet realization. There was a moment when the rhythm shifted. The silences felt comfortable. The conversations felt natural. There was no performance, no pressure, just presence. That's when dating in Japan starts to make sense. Not as a challenge to conquer, but as a connection that grows quietly, patiently, and with respect. Dating in Japan isn't about winning someone over. It isn't about bold moves, fast emotions, or proving anything. It's about learning a different rhythm. If you approach Japanese dating with patience instead of pressure, curiosity instead of assumptions, and respect instead of expectation, you begin to notice something important. The quiet moments start to mean more. Small gestures carry weight. Consistency becomes more attractive than intensity. For foreign men, the biggest mistake isn't being different, it's refusing to adapt. You don't have to become someone else. You just have to slow down, listen carefully, and understand that connection in Japan grows subtly, not suddenly. And when it does grow, it's steady, thoughtful, and real. That's the part many people miss.